Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a lot of the reactions and even justifications I see related to the Epstein files. Again, I have now made the Epstein files into an entire series on my channel, so please click the link down below. It'll go to the playlist so you can watch every Jeffrey Epstein video that I have made. But there's a lot to talk about, and it is amazing how fucking crazy people are. In past videos, I've referenced things that you should watch, like past Epstein videos, my Pizzagate video, and things like that, so you can finally be caught up and hear with the rest of us. Because again, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to teach you. I don't want people to learn 10 years later. I am not happy. You probably think I'm happy about it because I get to brag. No, that does not make me happy. I want you on the same level as me. When I talked about Pizzagate 10 years ago, I wasn't trying to be 10 years ahead of you. I wanted you to be right in line with me and be aware of it. Do you think I wanted to be called a conspiracy theorist for over a decade and have YouTube delete 5 of my Pizzagate videos and all of a sudden because of this we go, oh yeah, the Pizzagate thing was actually real? Fuck no! It is amazing how people are so unwilling to accept that things are true unless they see it right in front of their fucking face. One thing can prove the other. Just because something is a theory doesn't make it untrue. We already know most conspiracy theories are true, but even after all the Epstein stuff, we will still, fucking still, see people online being like, oh, well, you know what? I understand that the Epstein files and Pizzagate are true now, but that doesn't mean the child sacrifices. I mean, that's a little bit too crazy for me. That's too crazy for me. After just learning that Pizzagate is real, people will still go, yeah, but you know what? The child sacrifice, that's a little bit too much for me. Eating the blood of their victims, that's a little bit too much for me. Oh, wait. Jeffrey Epstein isn't the only child trafficker? Oh, that's a little bit too much for me. That's just a conspiracy theory. Bohemian Grove? Nah, that never fucking happened. Skull and Bones? That's not real. MK Ultra? That's not real. Illuminati? That's not real. What do you mean, Matt? There is no round table where politicians sit together and deciding how they want to destroy the world. That's not real. You're a conspiracy theorist. You mean like how I was a conspiracy theorist about everything else I fucking said and I ended up being right? I'm trying to help you. And then not only do you have the people who still go, yeah, I see it about this, but not about this yet. Give me another 10 years to figure it out. Fuck. And then you got these people, the people who make it political. Of course, us smart people knew this years ago, but people now are waking up and saying, okay, yeah, it's all politicians, it's the right-wingers like Trump, and it's the left-wingers like Bill Clinton, but I'm gonna make it political because I have a narrative. You people are fucking defective. I see people online, and all they're doing is either talking about Trump's part in the files, or attacking only Trump, but talking about everything, and it's like, this is not political. Get it out of your head. Just like the short I made a few days ago. It is not left versus fucking right. It's not. So fucking stop this. It is us versus those motherfuckers. It is us against all of the demons, all of these reptilians, every single fucking one of them. So stop with this left versus right bullshit. Because every time you only talk about one side and attack the side that you're not a part of, they are fucking laughing their asses off at you. And even though it's been exposed, they still get to laugh. And my god, are they ever fucking laughing? Because what always happens, I said this in a video a couple years ago, by the way, like everything else I say is years old, but I also fucking said that it never really matters what gets exposed. Because everybody will always, and I do mean always, forget about it and move on like nothing ever happened. The reason why politicians are still gonna laugh in your face even with the Epstein files is because they know. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. They know. They're not, again, they're not wondering. They already fucking know that you are gonna simply learn about it, pay attention for a week, get angry, share a few tweets, and then you'll move on. And I'm not even blaming you to an extent, because what can we do? What can the 99.9999999 do against the 0.0000001? What can we do? What can we do? Can we go to Washington and kill all these motherfuckers? You know, can we go and arrest them? Of course we fucking can't. You know who can arrest them? The people who are part of it. The people who are being paid not to arrest them. That's who can arrest them. The same people being paid not to arrest them are the people who can arrest them. What the fuck can I do? What the fuck can you do? We're normal-ass people. And they fucking know it. They know that all they need to do is wait a couple weeks for social media to die down, and then you'll move on. But this is what happens with everything. When people realized that COVID was actually released from a lab on purpose, people got angry for, 6 months? But here we are. It's not like anybody went and, hooked Dr. Fauci up to a lie detector. No one fucking did anything. Because you can't do anything, and they know that. Of course, you're all going to be angry for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, but then you'll move on with your life. And you know who else will move on with their lives? The politicians. The politicians are going to move on with their life because they're laughing their asses off at you with their billions of dollars and baby intestines between their teeth. Because they know that you can't do shit. All we can do is read it and get angry and move on. Because we're not cops. We don't have power. We don't have the gun power to take these sick fucks out, and they know it. It's fucking sad. I can't blame you for it, but it is the truth. Every single one of you watching this video are going to move on in a few months like nothing happened. And unfortunately, even me. I mean, I'll never stop thinking about it. But even I will move on to other videos and go, well, I guess they got away with it. Anyway, what can I do? I'm just a guy living in Canada. What can I do? I'm just a guy. What the fuck can I do? All we can do is sit here while they continue to fuck over our lives and take our money, while also being demonic monsters at the same time. What a lovely world, and it's going to stay this way. But let's talk about more reaction. That's right, the old king of the Michael Jackson community is going to come back briefly to say that I fucking despise every single one of you fucking hypocritical, lying piece of shit fanatics. You know, not new. Since 2014, when I left the MJ community, I've been saying I hate you. Trust me, nothing's changed except for the fact that I actually hate you more than I did then. Because so many fanatics have gone after me for leaving the community 10 years ago, for believing he's guilty now, which is about 1 year ago, and I have been attacked in every fucking which way. I've lost hundreds of subscribers, I've lost hundreds of views, I've lost tons of support from people, all because I changed my opinion for very valid reasons, by the way. But you know what's amazing? No matter what you want to say about Matt's FTR, there is one thing I will always have above you. Even if I'm wrong to think he's guilty, there is one thing I will always have above you that makes me better than you. Is that even in the peak of my fanaticism, I never once lied. Unlike you motherfuckers. I am perfectly fine if you want to have your theories and say, I think this, I think that. I really don't give a shit if you just want to pass off some opinions. But you motherfuckers are actually aware. You won't admit it, but I know. All of you motherfuckers are seeing the pedophilia in our world as a whole. You are. Don't deny it, you fucking are. You're seeing it in Hollywood, politicians, and even stores, like companies. I'll show you that in a minute. Pedophilia is so fucking rampant that the question of Can you really believe that Michael Jackson is one of the only few people in the entire world to not be a pedo? You are realizing that that question is extremely hard to answer. You are struggling to answer that question and therefore defend Michael, because if you do defend Michael, you have to somehow convince yourself that he's one of the only ones to not be a pedo? Interesting. I can't even imagine if it was 2013 and I had to answer that question. But here's the thing. Unlike you, I probably would have been honest and said, you know what, I really don't have an answer. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I changed my mind. Because I'm not delusional enough to think that Michael Jackson is one of the only elites to not be a child fucker. I'm not that fucking delusional and stupid. But you are. And because of that, because you can't admit to yourself that actually, no, Michael's not the only one, in fact, he's one of them, sorry, you have instead started making excuses to justify your belief that he is the only one. So I've been seeing posts like this all over social media that Michael Jackson was actually using Neverland as a safe haven against Epstein, and a lot of people have been using Macaulay Culkin as part of that fucked up theory. You lying motherfuckers. I know some of you are just dumb, and some of you are also grifters, so you're just doing this for engagement. I totally get that. You know, you need that view farm. You don't really give a shit about the cause. You don't give a shit about Michael or the Epstein victims. You're just doing it for engagement farming. I got that. Because you're all grifters and scammers. But I know that at least some of you are fucking aware that when Epstein bought his little island in 1998, Macaulay Culkin was already 18 years old. Do you really think that Jeffrey Epstein wanted 18-year-old Macaulay Culkin? So that's how this is a fucking lie. Fans have gotten to the point where they will lie blatantly just to defend Michael. And it gets better. Check this out.
I'll never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
Oh, Matt, you're wrong. Macaulay Culkin said it himself. Matt's wrong. Oh, yeah, except that video is fucking AI. Macaulay Culkin didn't fucking say that. That is an AI video. You pieces of garbage are so fucking dishonest and desperate. You are creating AI. And this is not a one-off. I have seen hundreds of fans across social media using that video to be like, see, Michael is protecting the kids. And you want to go after Matt's FTR and try to pretend that I'm a bad person? At least I don't lie and fake evidence to defend Michael. Even in 2013, at the peak of my obsession, everything I said, right or wrong, was at least honest. Every word, every single word I ever said, regardless if I was right about it or not, at least I told the truth, and I gave the evidence that I genuinely thought was real and accurate. I didn't create an AI fucking video to defend Messiah Jackson, you cocksuckers. But back to Epstein. The point is, it's not just Epstein. It's never been just Epstein. You really think that this is like the peak? There is child trafficking rings from Epstein, from pedophile Hollywood. There's child trafficking rings all over the world. Epstein is just one of thousands. There are child trafficking rings in Africa, in India, China, Mexico. The cartel has a couple child trafficking rings, I'm sure. There's child trafficking rings all around the fucking world. So no, Jeffrey Epstein is not the be-all, end-all. This happens everywhere, all the time, all around the world. Fucking accept it. This is the world you are inhabiting. Like I said, child trafficking is not just all around the world, even in companies. There is a company called Frida Baby, and they posted some really fucked up shit to their Instagram. And Frida Baby is a company that sells baby products. I'm not going to go through it because this girl here made a great video. It's called Disobedient Dipshit. Watch what she has to say. Yes, I already verified every image she shows is real, not AI.
Brand Frida Baby is in hot water and we need to talk about it. Frida Baby is a company that sells baby and postpartum related products. Recently, a bunch of people have noticed that a ton of their baby products have creepy sexual innuendos on them. Here are some of the packaging and posts in question. Talking about threesomes with a toddler involved. Pull-out game. This one is just so disgusting. Who posted that? This is the closest your husband's going to get to a threesome. What's with threesomes and babies? Now that gives mama more pleasure than any other battery-powered device. Here's some of the packaging. How about a quickie? I'm a power sucker. And tap that gas. And I wonder if the owner of this company is part of that one religious group that's
Gee, I wonder.
always doing stuff like this. Oh yeah, that's the one.
Of course. And what, you think this is a one-off? This is fucking everywhere. And they do it with no shame at all. Nothing. The picture of a baby with snot on its face and said, when you pull out too early, I don't even know what to say. How about Balenciaga? Remember that controversy? Look it up. Balenciaga is a company that sells like high-end garbage, and they also use these weird pictures of babies to promote their products on their website. And some people even found that they were like selling children if you went like really far into their search results. It was really fucked up. Balenciaga, this company, like, oh my god, it is so fucking normalized to not just traffic children, but use them. You know, and some celebrities have even been trying to tell you this. Justin Bieber has even tried to bring attention to this. Ashton Kutcher, Jim Carrey, Corey Feldman, they've tried to tell you over the last several decades that this is what these monsters do, and people just go, oh, well, it's a conspiracy theory. Fuck all of you. Clueless bastards. And these companies, too. And they do it. And you know why they do it? Because they can. You regular people, us regular people, have been so desensitized to pedophilia that you don't even care anymore. People online have literally showed more anger to like woke things, you know, like Sydney Sweeney's jeans, for example, and many other examples. People show more anger towards woke related things than they do fucking kids. You are so desensitized to pedophilia that woke things make you more angry than seeing a child get raped, fucked, and eaten. Or advertised in companies like this and Balenciaga. That doesn't anger you. Oh, but Sydney Sweeney says she has great genes. Oh, well, let's rally about that. Let's riot about that. Fucking hate everybody. Oh, I'm not done. Alex Jones, I'm coming after you now. It is amazing how fast he felt like destroying his own reputation. Alex Jones, the very first person on the entire planet to actually expose Bohemian Grove. Yes, Alex Jones was the first one. Over 20 years ago, he went to the Bohemian Grove and actually filmed one of their fucking sacrifice satanic ritual shit, because that's real, and Alex Jones himself went there and filmed it. And now, he posts this after Pam Scam Bondi released all the files, which obviously didn't happen, because out of those 3.5 million, like 3.4 million are just black. But anyway, he goes, kaboom, just in. Pam Bondi just unleashed the full Epstein files under the Transparency Act. Not fucking true. Why are you sucking the dick of Pam Bondi and Donald Trump? All 3.5 million, but most of it being just black pages, dropped. Redactions justified only for victims. Oh, really? Are you sure, Alex? Okay, I've spent about 30 minutes trying to find a particular picture that I saw when the Epstein files were dropped for the very first time, and I just cannot find it, so I'll just describe it to you. Basically, it was a picture that kind of looked like this. What it was a picture of 6 men, and you knew it was men because from the neck down, there was a suit and tie. but all of the faces were blacked out. My point is, I don't know where that fucking. I wish I had the picture. People are gonna think I'm lying. The picture is real. I swear of it. But even without that picture, you all know, because you've seen other examples of this, that multiple male faces were redacted. Okay, multiple. So this whole thing about it's just the victims for their safety is a blatant fucking lie. The reality is the super powerful people, the most powerful ones, are probably the ones who had their faces redacted. And most likely, whoever they are, they told Trump and Scam Bondi and his administration in general, basically said, you better cover my face or I'm going to kill you. They were probably threatened, is the actual reality. Okay? Point is, though, Alex Jones is fucking wrong. He's clearly just sucking Trump's dick by saying, just the victims, when it's not the case. That's just not true. And high-profile names exposed with zero cover-ups for embarrassment or politics. It is amazing how Alex Jones... You realize we're talking about Alex Jones here, and not Harry Sisson. We're talking about Alex fucking Jones. The king. This is the king of the anti-establishment, anti-globalist, anti-government of the internet. And here he is saying that Trump and his administration followed the rules when they didn't. Even if they did follow the rules, I would be surprised to see Alex Jones saying this, of all people. And that's if they did follow the rules, I'd be surprised. I don't know what has happened to Alex, but clearly he's being paid by the administration to say this, because, like, Alex Jones, of all people, lying to protect the government? What? No records withheld or redacted. It's just not true. Based on embarrassment, that's just blatantly untrue. Reputational harm, not true. Or political sensitivity to any official, this is not true. Public figure or foreign dignitary, this is simply not true. This backfired bigly on the left. So now we're even using the Trump meme on the left. On the left, right? Because Trump's not in the files, right? What the fuck? I've already made 2 videos where I just go through files, and I mentioned multiple files that Trump is in. If you haven't seen it, go watch my previous 2 videos. And I bring up multiple files where Trump is mentioned and accused of very, very sexual things. And you're going to tell me that this backfired on the left? Powerful Dems like Bill Clinton mentioned 1,193 times. Okay. And I think Trump is actually mentioned more than that. Why aren't you mentioning that? And others busted, while fake smears against Trump called out as BS. Vindication for Trump. Yeah, total vindication. All we have are about 50 videos of Trump hanging out with Epstein. We have tons of files of Trump doing sexual things with teenagers and raping some women, and yeah, just a laundry list. Go watch my previous 2 videos and you're going to say that Trump's been vindicated. These are the words of Alex Jones. I need you to process that. Alex Jones is sucking the government's dick. I don't know if he was paid. I guarantee he was, because I can't imagine any other reason why he'd blatantly lie like this. And if he was paid, I don't know how fucking much, but probably a lot. This is crazy. Holy shit, Alex. Well, good job. You have completely murdered your reputation. But let's stay on Trump for a minute, shall we? Remember when Trump said this about Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
Oh, wait a minute, though. Then a few months later, you decided to say this.
I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. So
Please tell me, Trump, why anyone should fucking listen to you. The hypocrisy is amazing. Why are you even defending Bill? I don't even understand it. Like, even if we take out the hypocrisy part of this, why are you defending him at all? Like, who has Trump been threatened by? I genuinely wonder. In fact, we do have evidence of this. A lot of people have been talking about how in 2016, Trump's first term, he did really, really well. And then in Trump's second term, which is currently going on, he's done considerably worse. And I do, to a huge extent, believe that it's not just Trump himself who has got dementia or changed his mind or showed his true colors. I think that there is a certain country that has gotten to him. And I'm not just making this up. It's not a conspiracy theory. There is evidence behind this. In fact, one of the Epstein files even claims that Trump was compromised by Israel. Here it is. This is the file that blatantly says that Trump has been compromised by Israel. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is accurate. Chances are that Netanyahu decided to shove his cock right down Trump's esophagus because he probably saw that Trump did a really good job in 2013. Notice that he wasn't, let's just say, getting the world's biggest blowjob. Said that Trump wasn't being corrupt enough. And now, through various different, let's say, threats, chances are Israel has got their grasp on Trump now. And that's why he changed so much. I genuinely believe that. You can call that a theory if you want, but I do believe that. I believe that Trump changed so much because Netanyahu has compromised him, said that you were not being corrupt enough, you didn't give enough money to Israel, you're making the country better, not allowed, you are owned by us now, you will follow what the Jews fucking tell you, and it's really quite that simple. And if you need evidence of just what kind of hold the Jews have over, well, not just the United States, but the whole world, take a look at this.
The West is itself gripped by a cultural death wish. The Western culture that stands against the Jews is going down. The West will survive only if it decides to love itself and if it decides to love us, the Jewish people, instead of disdaining us and trying to erase what makes the Jewish people special and what's made the West special too.
We banned content with harmful stereotypes about Jews, such as the claim that Jews run the world or other major institutions. We banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media.
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate. Right. And I've worked every day to do that.
We need America to wake up and prioritize Israel, bring home Israelis, and make sure we stand by our number one ally in Israel.
That's right. What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, defense of Israel.
I have said to people when they ask me if this Capitol crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid, and I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental to who we...
Maria Madison is amazing. What she has done for Israel, for our country, and for this world is second to none. Thank you, my friend. The sad truth is, for way too long, anti-Semitism has been allowed to grow unchecked in this country.
And if that's not enough for you, check out this compilation of Jews just in general talking about how much they control the world.
Maybe you shouldn't tell anybody that I said this, but you know all those tropes about Jews controlling the world, or at least wanting to control the world? They're actually true.
Anti-Semites like to say that Jews control the world. But let me tell you a little secret. In many ways they do, because our influence is beyond any type of rational understanding.
That actually the sexist, homosexual agenda was actually created and funded by Jewry, by the Jews of the United States.
Yeah, we got that going back in the early 1900s. The women's rights movement, we started off, hey, how about you get equal pay for equal work? And women have the right to vote. And everybody bought into that. And we started with the women because it's hard to get the men. The women are the weakest sex. And now look at all the women. Most all of them around the world, especially here in America, they got short hair. They got a schwarzer for a boyfriend. They got a lesbian lover. They're married by the time they're 40. But then they can't have too many little children themselves because they've already ruined those years chasing the almighty gold dollar, the shekel, and so they're going to wind up a bunch of old maids because nobody wants them.
And the thing that makes this so appalling is that Jews built the left in this country. We built the labor movement. We broke the New Deal. 70% of the lawyers who worked on civil rights cases were Jews. We've been at the forefront of every liberal and leftist issue in this country.
Once we will leave this place, Hashem will bury America. All the assistants of Trump, Jews. All the assistants of Sleepy Joe, Jews. Obama, Jews. Everyone around there, Reform Jews, conservative Jews. I think it was in Spain. Same thing was in many different countries. Jews will always control you everywhere you go in the world. Who is running all the financial? Always the Jews. The Jews are in charge of the world. Science, financial, politics, behind the president.
The greatest lie humanity tells itself is that we have outgrown human sacrifice. When Abraham prepares to sacrifice Isaac, he is just accepting the same bargain of blood we still accept today. That some need to die for the world to flourish.
We take the children of our enemy, which is the white race, and we bring them to the basements in the synagogues where we drain the blood and watch them die there. It's very similar to how we do the sacrifices that we do with the kosher butchering, and so we do that, and then we mix it with the Passover bread, and so we eat the blood of our enemies. And the bodies, we're not cannibals, so what we do is we take those, because we can make some shekels, and we give them to the slaughterhouses, and those are pounds and pounds and pounds of meat that we grind up in the sausage and the hamburger, and that's why we made those the most popular things, sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch. And so all the goyim out here are really eating their children. And even when we say this outright and tell you people, you don't believe it.
If we see the full implementation of the Noahide laws in America, wouldn't that mean in a practical sense that people who quote certain passages of the Bible, especially in the New Testament, would be arrested and imprisoned in America?
Yes.
You would be killed for that.
Jews control Hollywood. Okay, let's go about sports. Now you're like, Jews, we don't do sports. We don't play sports, but we own the sports teams. 50% of NFL teams, 50% are owned by Jews. We make up 2% of America. We own 50% of NFL teams and about 33% of MLB, NBA, and NHL teams.
A majority of Gen Z have an unfavorable impression of Israel. And my friends, I think the reason for that is that we're losing the digital war. Okay, they're getting their information from TikTok and whatever it is, and we're losing that war. When you think about it, the masters of the universe are Jews. You know, we've got Altman and AI, we got Zuckerberg, we got Sergey Brin, we got the whole group across the board. Jan Combs, founded WhatsApp. It's us. And we have to figure out a way to win the digital battle. Amelia, we got to get our digital sneakers on so that the truth can prevail over the lies. And when we do that, the future of Israel will be stronger because a majority of all Americans will support Israel. We'll make that happen. We have to make it happen.
Whatever you're gonna have, the Jews will always control you. Everywhere you go in the world, who's running all the financial? Always the Jews. Started in Paro, Yosef, everyone. The Jews are in charge of the world. Science, financial, politics, behind the president. Even now, everybody knows that all the campaign of Donald Trump is his son-in-law, the Jew, Kushner.
The Jews were behind the invention and creation of these COVID vaccines that are going to save humanity now. The Moderna vaccine. Okay, the Moderna vaccine, the chief medical officer in charge of research and development, the person who was in charge of putting it all together is the Israeli scientist Tal Zaks. Pfizer. Who's the CEO of Pfizer? In other words, the person who heads the company. Albert Bourla, who is a Greek Jew. And then, who is the chief scientist? Chief scientist is Mikael Dolsten, a Jew from Sweden. Both COVID vaccines that are now going to rescue humanity, both were created by Jews.
Anyone who gets in the way, it doesn't matter where they are, even if they are politicians in the West, they are going to fall. And I said this previously.
Hold on, did you hear what he just said? And remember, he's an Israeli agent. Are you saying Israel will murder politicians in the West? What do you mean the politicians in the West will fall?
Yeah, we will not vote for them anymore.
Oh, no, well, you don't vote for them now. You're not in our country.
We have the right to bring them up and to bring them down.
Who is we, and how are you bringing down politicians in the West if they dare to defy Israel?
And YouTube, you can't fucking ban me for this, because I didn't say shit. I showed them admitting to it. But if you ban me, all you're doing is proving that what I'm saying here is true. Well, what I'm showing is true, because I didn't really say all that much in the first place. I want to go back and just briefly mention one more time so I can really nail it home just how in our faces this has been for decades. I mean, Ellen, I don't know if this is like a consistent thing on her show, but first of all, we already know that she's a part of this. This has already been proven. If you watch my Pizzagate video, go back and watch it. There, I show and I break down that clip of her at the 2014 Oscars where she ordered pizza for the pedophiles in the audience. Literally, it wasn't even just the audience. It was specifically for the pedophiles in the audience, like Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, and she named Jeffrey Epstein by name. What a shock. And she orders pizza to the Oscars. Check out my Pizzagate video. I break all that stuff down. My point is, that video and this picture, and honestly a few other things too, prove that Ellen is one of the people who's part of this satanic cult insanity. And I don't know how much this has actually appeared on her show. Maybe it's only a couple episodes or it's all the time, because God forbid I'd ever watch her terrible fucking show. But she even had her background of her set look like Epstein's Island. This is just one example of many where they are very blatant about this. They are. In fact, the Oscar thing is one example of that. And I think, I said this in the video, but I'll say it here again, I genuinely really do believe that the reason why they do this out in the open, like blatantly admitting to it, is because, number one, they know they can, because, as I said before, we can't do anything about it, and two, because they're even trying to test the waters. I mean, there's a video of Dwayne Johnson literally saying, "I eat children." He says this in his own words. And it's like, even if he doesn't, like, let's just say he doesn't do that and he's not part of the satanic psychopaths, why would he say that? Do you see what I'm getting at? It's not about if he actually does or doesn't. It's not about the proof if he does or doesn't. It's about the fact, why even say that at all? If it's a joke, why are you making a joke about eating children? Why? Why is that a joke? Why are these Hollywood and political elites so obsessed with children, even if it is a joke? Why are they so fucking obsessed with kids? Fucking why? Again, even if they're joking, why? That's the question, is why? So like I said, even if Dwayne Johnson was joking about that, why make the joke? Tell me fucking why. I think, in large part, like with Dwayne Johnson's joke, Ellen's set, and many other things, I think it's more or less testing the water. They want to see if the public will react. And if we don't, which we haven't for decades, it just gives them the green light to do it, say it, and show it even more. That's what I think the real reason is. Ellen made her set look like Epstein's Island, and nobody batted a fucking eye until last week. What more can I say? What more do you want me to say? These are the people in charge of our world. These are the people who call the shots. These are the people who tell you what you can and can't do. These are the people who create and show you your entertainment. These are the people who control the media. These are the people who control the government. These are the people who control Hollywood. These are the people who created woke culture. And these are the people that you are giving your money to through taxes and other forms. These are the people. And there's nothing you can do. This is just our life. This is what we are stuck living in because there's nothing you can do about it, and they know that. What we should do, because to be fair, even though they are more powerful than us, there's also less of them. We are the 99.9999999%. They are the 0.0000001%. So, I mean, if they're in raw numbers, you know, it's kind of like a bug's life, right? How they say if all the ants realize that there's more of them, then the other bugs would lose. That's actually accurate to real life. If us, the regular people, ever realize that there's more of us than them, they would lose. But unfortunately, regular human beings will never realize that. Human beings like me have realized that, but it won't work unless the entire world realizes it. And even the people who have realized it are still in denial, are waking up too slowly, will forget about it before it truly matters, or believe it's a conspiracy theory because the mainstream media told them that it was. You're either dumb, weak, or brainwashed. And the few people who are awake, like me, well, they're simply not enough. This is our world. Are we ever going to do anything about it? Or are we just going to keep letting them get away with it over and over and over and over again?
There is one God. This God creates nations. He gives all nations the same rights. The idea that there are two kinds of people, those with rights and those without, this capitalist hypocritical idea will be destroyed. God did not intend for a few small races to rule over 2/3 of the entire world, while their own people lack resources and other nations starve.